I guess having this realization that we are semi-open, um, for some reason changes the perspective that I have on our relationship, on the level of being open that we are, on our intentionality of dating people, that we don't just see anybody. Like there really has to be a good fit. And I think it makes it even more special when we do engage. Welcome to the Open Bedroom Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Kalo. Welcome to conversations about open relationships, online dating, and creating relationship dynamics that truly align for you. Hey there. Did you know that I do online coaching? Yes, I do online coaching in the sex and relationship space. Some of the topics that are near and dear to my heart are open relationships. So that includes polyamory, swinging, or what we call the lifestyle. I also love conversations around online dating. We're talking Bumble, Tinder, Field, and more. And then the last thing that is really passionate and close to my heart is conscious uncoupling. That means we get to break up with people with love and respect, with dignity and hope. We get to create a life for our children that gets to be a little bit different. We can do things better than we have in the past. So if any of these topics sound interesting to you and you'd love to get some coaching from me, check out the link in the show notes or the link in my bio for more information on Coaching with Jen. So the other day, Scott and I were recording a podcast together, and I typically lead by talking about our dynamic, and I say, we're in an open relationship, we're polyamorous, we date women, and we date women together. And he stopped me and he said, well, we're not really in an open relationship, we're semi-open. And for the first time in 2.5 years, it stopped me. And I was thinking, he's right. We are semi-open. So the majority of the time, Scott and I are monogamous, I'm using air quotes if you can't see me, couple. We are doing life together. We, live together. We pay bills together. We raise kids together. We raise dogs together. And when you see us out in public, we're together. We're very enmeshed in each other's life. Our offices are right across the hall from each other. We're together during the day and eat lunch. Like it's very together. And when you look at the total amount of time that we spend being with another woman, it's pretty minimal. Does it take up some of our brain space throughout the day? Yeah. Like we're thinking about stuff or we're thinking about someone new that we're seeing and we're talking about it. But for the majority of our life, we're monogamous and it's just us. And having an incredibly intense, amazing sex life definitely helps with that because neither of us are, wanting something else or needing something else. We're fulfilled in all the areas of our life. And so this semi-open idea is an interesting concept that took me quite a while to like wrap my mind around. So this morning we're laying naked in bed and we just had amazing sex. And I said, when you said semi-open the other day, it stopped me and it made me realize that you're right. We really are just like crack the door open, which is interesting considering, this podcast is called the Open Bedroom Podcast and the bedroom is open. The door is open. It's not frequently, visited by non-partnered, I don't know, by me or Scott. So today I thought it would be interesting to just have a conversation around this idea of being fully open versus being semi-open and some other terminology that people use to describe each of these, as well as just so I think in general, when we have an idea of what's available to us, then we can shift and change our dynamic into something that's more comfortable once we have the knowledge that something is out there that's more. So the first thing that I wanted to just chat about was being fully open. When I say we're in an open relationship and Scott says, no, babe, we're semi-open, there really is a distinct difference. So typically, being in a fully open relationship means that there's maybe you could have two different types of relationship being that one is a hierarchical relationship, meaning there's a husband, there's a wife, they take the predominant um energy in terms of who's important and what's important in the relationship. And then there's like tertiary people. Non-hierarchical in an open relationship, I always imagine like a throuple or a quad where everybody has equal rights, equal say, equal pay and contribution into the household. Maybe they even live together. They're helping raise kids all together as a unit. That's typically what non-hierarchical means. It can even mean with married people that don't live with their other partners. It could even mean that when a decision needs to be made, all three or four, however many partners you have that are in this non hierarchical arrangement, it could mean you have to have complete buy in with everybody, or you have to bring up this decision to the group. Um, I had the bratty cat, his name's Kevin. I had him on the podcast, I don't know, several months ago, and he came on and said they are in a non hierarchical relationship. Him and his wife are polyamorous, they're open. I think he has three partners. She may have one or two others. And he had this job opportunity come up at work that he would have to move for. And Kevin was like, I took this opportunity to the collective, to all the women in my life, and I was like, I kind of want to do this. And they all had to have buy-in whether he did or didn't, and then he made his decision. So that would be an example of a non-hierarchical open relationship. So everybody is free to date whoever they want. Everybody has an equal share in the contribution to making decisions or not making decisions. Someone's in a hierarchical relationship, the married partners would have the final decision and then they would just make the decision and then everybody else would have to deal with it. So another example is I've been chatting with a woman on Facebook in one of my groups, and she said, I was in the US and I was dating a couple, and we were 6 months to a year together having this relationship. And the couple decided they were going to move to another country and they left. And I was just like left here by myself, alone, broken up. And a few months in, they decided, hey, gee, I really miss our girlfriend. And contacted her and said, hey, gee, we'd really like you to come move overseas with us. If you want to come move, come move. And so she did. That's a great example of a hierarchical relationship where the husband and the wife make the decisions. The other people left in their relationship just have to kind of deal with, the consequences or deal with whatever's happening. So that's a great example of fully open. I see fully open a lot in the swinger community. This is something where the husband and the wife have free roaming privileges. They're out seeing whoever they want to see. Or I see this a lot in swinger groups where there's this couples swapping dynamic. So it might be two different couples and they're like, hey, let's get together. Let's be in the same room and we'll just swap our partners, but we're all together. That is a great example of being fully open. When we're talking about semi-open, or you might have heard the terminology monogamish, it means basically you're monogamous, but there's this little like cracked door in your relationship. This could mean you soft swap occasionally at a party. Like you go out and you do something and you meet someone and you and your partner are comfortable making out with another person or another couple. This could be hard swapping every now and then, or hard playing, meaning like you go all the way. Um, this could mean more of like what Scott and I have, where, and we're polyamorous, we are dating someone outside of our own relationship that we occasionally see. And occasionally could mean, 3 or 4 times a month. It could mean once a quarter. It could be a comment partner that once a year comes into our life and we engage with them and, have a great time and then they leave and then we see them again in a year. Or maybe it's, friends that you go on vacation with a few times a year. and those are the times that you engage with them. That would be a great example of semi-open / monogamish. Some other things I have written down here is typically in a monogamish or semi-open relationship, you're dating together with your partner. I don't normally see people that are like one person in the relationship just kind of goes out and does their thing and comes back in. Not to say that that doesn't happen, but typically in monogamish relationships, you're doing the thing together that's outside of the norm of your relationship. It's because of the betterment of your relationship. It brings some extra spiciness. This isn't cheating. This isn't like the door got cracked because one partner went out and decided they needed more. Everything that I'm talking about is in an ethically non-monogamous relationship. So that's really all I wanted to say on today's episode. Just, I guess, having this realization that we are semi-open, for some reason changes the perspective that I have on our relationship, on the level of being open that we are, on our intentionality of dating people, that we don't just see anybody, like there really has to be a good fit. And I think it makes it even more special when we do engage. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Are you in some sort of semi-open or fully open relationship? What does your dynamic look like? If you are listening here on Spotify, you can actually respond here within the episode. And then if you're listening on YouTube, obviously you can make a comment below. You can also find me on any of the platforms out there, The Open Bedroom. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're enjoying this show, I want to encourage you to like and follow. And if you are on a platform where you can even leave a review, like Apple, I would love to see that. Currently, we're at only 4.2 stars. I don't know what happened, but someone I think left a bad review, and it like took my entire average from 5 down to 4.2. So I would love to see that get a little bit back higher to 5. We work really hard. I have a team that helps me produce this podcast, and we work hard making sure that we're bringing you fun and interesting conversations. I pop in here to try to give you life updates on what's going on my end. And I'd love to see our rating pop back up, and I'd love to see more of them. So please like and follow this podcast. You can expect every Sunday morning for a new episode to drop, and I can't wait to see you next week. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Open Bedroom podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and give us a like and click subscribe below and stay up to date on all the new episodes that we release. If you have a topic that you'd really like more information on, leave us a comment below and we'll see what we can do. Feel free to share this podcast with all of your friends and especially your partners. This is a great way to open up some amazing conversations. We'll see you next week.